Hello, welcome. Energy is everything. Energy is everything. I have pictures of myself where I've gone through things in life, as we all do, and you can see within the pictures and through the pictures how I was able to glow, look more softer, look better, in my personal opinion. And I think you can tell, like when we're analyzing, when you're able to analyze my old pictures, which I'm exposing myself for you just to show you, you'll see the difference. And you might think, well, oh, you did this, you changed this, which yes, okay, I did change for sure, 100%. And physically I did change. I do things differently, I'm trying to learn more about my personal style and my taste, and I'm altering everything. I'm young, I'm growing, of course. But it's only been a span of 2 years since these pictures have lapsed, right? So it's not like 5-10 years ago. It's literally very recent. Some of them a little older than others, but within like 4 years time frame, that's pretty much it. Like 18-year-old me and 21-year-old me, or 17-year-old, you know what I mean? Just a 4-year difference. So maximum, I would say, with the pictures I'm showing you. So energy is so incredibly important. And how do you, work on energy? Because I know everyone talks about frequency, energy, all of this, but it's like, how do you work on building that aura, that energy? And I would say the most important thing is to be very, very intentional and very mindful about what you consume, what you put into your body, so like physical food, and what you put mentally. And physically, we talk about this all the time, right? When you're trying to lose weight, it's all about calories in, calories out. When you're trying to build muscle, it's about high protein. And we know this, and I think you know this as well. It's very simple, yet not always easy. But that's the food aspect of it, okay? And then now the mental aspect is very underrated and should be talked about more, because throughout those instances in time that I showed you, I was not hanging out with the people that were best for me. I was not doing the things that were best for me. I was stressed, I was overwhelmed, there's a video on my laptop literally where I think it was like 3 years ago, I have it on my Mac, and I just could not understand how I look like how I did in the picture. So I was like, what the heck is going on? Why is my face like this? Because I did not know why my face looked like the way it did. And I think with me, I would describe myself as an empath, I think. So I'm able to really feel emotions, and I get really emotional, although I'm controlling it. And, I don't always get emotional, but I feel things really deeply, and I think that shows in my face. Like when I look lighter, and, you can tell, like, not lighter as in like weight, but when my energy just feels lighter, you can see how much of a softer appearance I have. And I think it's like also something that you create yourself as well. Like I lighten my brows, so then that helps create a softer appearance, which then in turn makes me feel like softer and better. So there are certain things that you can do to change in that sort, but that's also, again, altering your energy. And so with consumption, in terms of mental consumption, be very mindful of that. And I think after I kind of thought about that for a second, I realized, and I started asking myself deeper questions of, what do I want to do? Who am I really? What kind of person do I want to be? What kind of lifestyle do I want to have? What kind of things do I want to do? And I think this is something that I need to do more often, because it feels so good to ask yourself these questions and actually answer them yourself. And forget about everyone else, anything else, whatever you know. You need to really just ask yourself this, because I think so many of us live lives that are enforced upon us from other people, or maybe that we think we should be living. That's a really big one. I, for the longest time in my life, thought I should be this person, I should have this personality, I should be this, I should do this, I'm supposed to be smart, And I realized it's because of the way I just analyze the world, and it's my own fault, and it's the way that I did things, thought things, And when I'm saying it's my own fault, that's me actually taking accountability. And when you say things are your own fault, that means you can change them. Whereas I could sit here and victim blame and say, oh, my parents didn't do this. Oh, I did this. I was an immigrant child. I had this. That just puts me in such a bad spot because there's nothing I can do about that. But when I say, okay, well, it's my interpretation. I viewed it this way. I could have, or not could have viewed it differently, but I can view it differently now. And which is so beautiful because perspective gives you that. It gives you power back, right? And so I don't know where I just left off. I kind of just forgot where I left off. But yeah, I think it's all about, consumption, right? And so for a short amount of time, you're going to be isolated, and you have to be isolated. I don't think you can ever find yourself without truly being isolated, intentional isolation, because there are constant opinions circling around. Everyone has something to say, which they should, right? And I think when you're still working on yourself and you still listen to other people, you're not giving yourself a fair shot of truly discovering who you are. And doing all of these things and reading books and trying to understand, as a woman myself, I've realized for a great amount of time, I've listened to men a lot, especially when it comes to business, which is good, right? There are certain things you need to do in business or in your work. You need to be a shark sometimes. But I think when we're constantly focused on being a shark, we end up being a shark, okay? Like when we're constantly trying to act like a shark and trying to be like, hustle, grind, all this focus, that ends up being our life. And that stress that you carry with that, because it's stressful, ends up seeping into certain different areas of your life where you end up not being comfortable with yourself. And when you have free time, you end up thinking that you're wasting time. You should be doing something productive, which free time is free time. You need time to think. You need time to literally just sit and think and be bored. We're not bored enough. We really need to prioritize being bored. Like, make time to be bored. Okay, that's productive. And so I'm really starting to lean more into listening to like jazz and R&B. I love Sade. I love Taylor Russell. I love women that are so effortlessly beautiful, and also not just appearance, but their soul and the way they speak and the way they interpret the world. And it's not about like the soft life type of thing as well. Like, I don't know why the word kind of irritates me. Like, I think it's about perspective and about allowing yourself to move with grace and elegance and just slow down in a world that tells you to hustle and work hard. Everyone tells you to hustle and work hard. Oh, you're in your 20s, you need to be working so hard. And yes, you should be working hard, but not all the time, not 24/7, and not morning to night. And if you are, you're in the wrong thing. Like, if you are working hard all the time as a woman, I don't know how it works for men, I'm not a man, but as a woman, I think you're going to burn out, and I think you're going to be lost again. I remember, sometimes I think back to like older videos that I've made, and there's this one that I made where I talked about how women are born, like men and women, the difference between us is that women were on the top of the mountain. Like, we're born and we're placed here, right? Like, we are placed at the top. We don't need to do any climbing or anything. We are already there, okay? All we need to do is remember that we're there, act like we're there, have standards, have boundaries, be able to just reap in everything that your birthright, like your birth gave you, which is abundance, beauty, all of these things. Don't chase after anything. Don't feel like you're gonna have to work hard to get something. You already have it, and you sit with it, and you allow, like, even if you fall, you allow the universe to pick you back up and bring you back. And men are born at the bottom of the mountain. So what they need to do is they need to struggle, work hard, grind, all of this to get to the top. That's why all of these men that are in the self-improvement space and in business and in all of this, they talk about working super hard and grinding and all of this, but it doesn't apply to you as a woman. And I know you're a high-achieving woman, so am I. I know that you have big dreams and big goals, and you want to do things that men do as well. You want to create the life and build the life that is amazing and beautiful and abundant for yourself. But I think you can't think like a man because you are simply not a man. And you're not a little man either. You're a woman. And you have things, so much intuition, so much insight, so many things that you've yet to unlock. Because I think when you read literature and when you understand and try to go more to this path of like womanhood and understanding the power of your womb, like I do womb meditation almost daily as much as I can. And when you do things that are more catered to you as a woman and specific for you as a woman, you tend to realize like women have known this all along, and it's just stuff that's not been normalized or things that people publicly talk about. I didn't know what cycle syncing was. I didn't know like what phases of my cycles were. There's so many things I just never knew. Like I was like, okay, when I got my period, I bleed. Okay, that's it. And sometimes in some cultures, you're told it's dirty blood. You're told you're dirty, you're gross. And that's so disheartening because being a woman and bleeding is direct correlation to seasons and nature and how connected we are to Mother Earth. So things like that and stuff that just you need to, as a woman, unfortunately, go out of your way to explore. But I want to lean more into just understanding and learning more about myself as a woman. And obviously, I think in certain aspects, like I mentioned earlier, you do have to be cutthroat in business. Like there's no other way for you to succeed because business is a game. And in a game, you have to be smart and savvy and work hard, right? And something really funny is like I play Clash Royale here and there, and I think it just is life in general, right? Like when we play video games, it's kind of like escapism type of way. And I think the reason why so many people are hooked on video games is because of the validation, the dopamine and everything you get when you win and get whatever it is that you want. And I think people that are gamers or video gamers, I think they're like when they apply these skills in real life are the most cutthroat, because life is like, I don't know if you've heard of the game theory, but life is pretty much like it's a game, right? And if you view it in a perspective of it's a game, then it's a game for you. And I know I went on so many tangents, as I always do, but I just wanted to talk about that. And lastly, finishing point, okay, so maybe you're in a period of isolation, or maybe you think about going into one intentionally just because you need to discover yourself. Then I would recommend you to actually cut off social media consumption as well, okay? And this is what I do. I don't cut it off because I use social media for myself in terms of like my business and me and my personal brand, but I've started really just deleting TikTok and YouTube and some other things that I do like right after I eat dinner. So around like 6:30 p.m. it's off of my phone, and then I get it again when I need to create things or post things or anything of that sort. So I re-download it. So when you're doing this, you're allowing yourself to create boundaries, and you're saying, I control social media. TikTok doesn't control me, I control it, right? Like I'm in charge. And the same thing with your brain. Like you're in control, okay? So when you find yourself scrolling, I've been doing this recently and it's amazing, you just say no. Like just say it out loud. Like when you're doom scrolling, right? And you are aware of yourself going to the next video and the next video, just say no and cancel and just like exit the page, delete it, whatever it is that you have to do. You're actually training that muscle in your brain to be stronger, to resist certain temptations. So doing things like this is going to help elevate yourself, because now I'm so intentional about what I pay attention to and what I give my energy to. I like to read, like I flip through this book, it's called The Wisdom of Women, and I like to flip through this book and really understand things that these women have to say and read books and I don't know, I solved the freaking Rubik's Cube. Actually, I'm trying to get sub under a minute, and if you're someone who knows how to solve it and you're good at it, can you please give me hints or advice, because I'm trying to get under a minute. I know like the basic way, but I'm trying to get a little bit more faster. But yeah, just things like that are things that I'm intentional about, that are building my brain. And it's amazing because you get so much clarity in life when you're meditating, when you're journaling, and they're right when they tell you this. And I've been doing this for a while, so I know like it makes the biggest difference. And I think the catalyst towards all of this is honestly waking up early for me. As much as I've tried both, okay? I just cannot be productive at night. Maybe it's just a me thing, maybe it's a general thing, but those are things that soften my energy. When I'm intentional, and I'm intentional about what I'm consuming and putting on my body, and maybe even wearing things physically, like I like to stick to cotton and stuff, not polyester, just because cotton is a better fabric for you. But yeah, we're constantly absorbing things, we're constantly seeing things, and the world is your perception. It's just your perception. So you can perceive to see things any way you want, right? And it's constantly, I'm like constantly affirming to myself, like I'm protected, I'm guided, and all these affirmations I try to say as much as I can, because they, again, help you feel better about yourself, help you build faith within yourself or within higher power. And those kind of things really helped me. So yeah, this was such an amazing chat, and yeah, that's all I wanted to share with this one. To lighten your energy is just to lighten what you, or to not to lighten what you consume, but to be intentional with what you consume. Okay? Bye. Love you.